this story were to have a title, it would be called The Night We Saved a Man's Life. So my friend Frank is a stand-up comic, and he's performing in, I think, downtown Brooklyn, somewhere where I need to take the N train to Barclay Center, Atlantic Pacific. And so I'm at home, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, if I live in the East Village, if I have to go, you know, all the way to Brooklyn, I'm not going to smoke half this joint. I'm going to smoke all of it. especially if, you know, I'm going to a comedy show. So I'm at home and I smoke this joint, which, you know, so I get totally blitzed. And I can remember it was maybe about 2 years ago around this time, maybe a little bit like further into October, because we were wearing more coats than hoodies. So I smoked this huge joint, and I put on my headphones, which are of course like noise canceling big headphones, and I'm playing like whatever's hot then, which I think is like Skrillex or some kind of stupid dubstep. And so I'm like totally crunching down, and I'm like just doing my own thing, and I'm stoned, and I'm walking to the train, and I get onto the downtown N train platform. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know, in my own groove and totally spacing out. And like I said, my headphones are noise canceling, so like whatever's going on inside my headphones, that's my world. And especially if I'm stoned, that's like totally my world. So I'm not paying attention to anything, and I'm kind of just standing there, and I'm a few steps back from that yellow line. And in front of me is this guy who's like in his early 30s, he's an Asian guy. And he's just standing there, and so I'm just kind of standing here like this, and then suddenly I see him kind of standing at the ledge, and he's looking down, and he goes, and he jumps. And I, you know, didn't pay any attention, you know. And then he's looking around, left and right, and I'm kind of starting to cue in. And then he comes to me, he sees that I make eye contact with him, and he comes to me and he goes, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, you know, like I don't know if he's, you know, has an accent, is he a tourist, I'm a New Yorker, I'm a fucking asshole, so I'm like, I'm sorry, what? and he's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "See what?" He's like, "A man just fell down on the tracks. Did you see that?" And I'm like, "What?" So I look down the platform, like all the way, and I peer down as far as I can possibly see. And sure enough, what I see is a man, what seems to be like on his stomach in the middle of the tracks, with his leg like kicking up like this. And I'm like, holy shit. So I nudge him on the shoulder, and I nudge him on the elbow, and I'm like, all right, let's go check this out. So he and I are walking, and both of us, it's like this really interesting cosmic moment, because both of us realize at the same time, like we don't want to be like that asshole who like rings the sound, you know, rings the 5-alarm bell when it really just turns out to be some kind of hoax, or like a graffiti artist, or somebody who knows who he's supposed to be there, not in trouble. So we're like walking, you know, at like a normal pace, because we don't want to like go nuts. And we're walking, and then I think, you know, in this moment, both of us realized that the longer it takes for us to get to him, the sooner that means that the train is coming into the station. So we start to pick up our pace into like a brisk walk. And then, sure enough, and I can't believe this is like actually happening, I feel the station start to rattle. And I know